I'm Adrian Pagdin. I'm one of the founders of Tailwind Project Solutions, and I'm a project management evangelist. I wanted to spend a few minutes of your time talking about the future of project management, or specifically some of the things that we need to do as an industry and as project management professionals to empower and equip the project management professionals that are delivering change in a changing environment. And I want to start it off with an observation. You'll have noticed that project management is changing. The people that you're working with aren't necessarily in the same room anymore, or the same building, even the same country, and they don't necessarily speak the same language. You might not know how to pronounce the name on their email, or even know if they're a man or a woman on their email address. Communication is becoming more complex. Stakeholder interactions are becoming more complex. And if we look at one of the principal drivers for project stress and failure, it's an inability to manage project stakeholders. So I want to talk to you about three things, and I've got 3 points to make at the end. So here's the first one, and it's about the changing constraints that we face in project management. So most of us will be familiar with the triple constraints, the scope triangle, the iron triangle. So we're constrained by time, cost, and specification, functionality, scope, quality, however you might describe it. And we have those things agreed in our terms of reference, project initiation document, our charter, and from that point forwards we measure and we change based upon those baselines. It's developed in the 1980s, and as a concept it's fantastic, and we use it all the time to explain to people the importance of having meaningful conversations and setting expectations. But of course those constraints have changed over time, and nowadays I just want to introduce a different model. It's based on Michael Porter's 5 forces, and I call it Pagdin's 5 forces. Now these are elements that apply pressure in the same way as constraints do to the everyday activities of a project management manager. So number 1, organizational capability. How well is our organization set up to deliver projects? Does it have the right mindset? Does it understand change? And does it put the right conditions in place? Number 2, project management capability. Do we have the right people doing the right things in the right way to overcome the specific obstacles for our projects? And I'll talk about that in a minute or so. Number 3 is, how strong is the business case, and how well is it supported throughout the business? Is there a commitment to that business case? Does it stand up to scrutiny? Number 4, how well are we managing the expectations of stakeholders? Have we even engaged with stakeholders? Do we have the necessary coalition of support in place to overcome the challenges that our project is likely to face? And number 5 is, how strong are the competing interests? Or to put it differently, how well aligned is our project with a vertical that feeds into our business strategy? These are the things that can change on a very regular basis, and we need to have project managers who can be elastic or firm, and to be able to make those decisions on a very rapid and increasingly complex basis requires a different skill set. So who is this project manager? Well, clearly project manager is Superman. He's got X-ray vision, so he can see to the heart of problems immediately. He's incredibly strong, so that he can carry all the weights and stresses of the project as well as all of the project team with him. He's got super hearing, so he can hear everything that's going on. He's got fantastic communication skills. He's got wonderful eyes, so he can employ empathy and emotional intelligence. Clearly he can fly and be in many places at once. Have you seen this super project manager? No, I haven't either. If you do, I'd like 50 of them, please. I think they would be the saviours of the world. No, that project manager does not exist, and in reality I don't think they ever will. But if we look at elements of that skill set, and we have to start asking ourselves, how well qualified are the current breed of project managers to overcome the stakeholder management challenges that we're increasingly facing? I want to take a step back here and to talk about the traditional project manager and the way in which they've been developed. Project managers, like most business professionals, are T-shaped. So along the vertical line we have business knowledge and understanding, and that's fairly broad. Hopefully we are able to have informed conversations with business professionals across our organisation, whether it be pharmaceutical or my area, financial services. And then we have a horizontal, which is our deep well of experience. And for many project professionals, that deep well of experience is engineering or it's development. We've been promoted to a project management position because we have demonstrated competence in a functional area. Now often Peter's principle comes into play here, because in my engineering training and apprenticeship and experience, I didn't necessarily have to learn about communication or dealing with conflict or gaining and maintaining a guiding coalition of stakeholders, listening, demonstrating empathy, and certainly emotional intelligence would not have been high on the engineering learning curriculum. I'm not engineering bashing here, by the way, but because I think that methodology as an approach to responding to the challenges of project management is important, but it's not the only one. We've been developing methodology since the early 1970s. We've had 45 years of methodology development, but very little development in the field of leadership and stakeholder management. So it's not that methodology and an engineering mindset are wrong, it's just that we don't have the right balance currently. So we need to look at ways of bridging this gap and developing our project managers. So this is the last thing that I want to talk about, and then I'll summarise. Is how do we develop the necessary skills for better project managers? And we can learn something from engineering here, because in engineering it's very normal and right to do an apprenticeship. But with project managers, when you are asked to do that next project and it's a step up, there's often no apprenticeship. You're just expected to be able to do it. The chances of success are low, and we all work very hard and we throw ourselves into it and we do our best job, but we have no exposure to it, and so the chance of failure is high. So we need to look at a way of providing apprenticeships for our project managers, because the other alternative is to always give it to the same people. Problem is, they're getting old and they're going to retire. And I've met lots of them, and they're in their 50s and they've done mega projects and they're fantastic to listen to. But if we don't extract those skills and create an apprenticeship program for project managers, we're going to have lots of really capable project managers rapidly becoming incompetent because they're out of the scope of their development. That's one thing we can do. There are two more. So the first one is a broader level of training, is to look at educating our project managers much more broadly than just going on a Prince 2 course or ensuring they have PMP or PGMP to demonstrate they understand a methodology and they've been assessed by their peers. We need to look at ongoing professional development that is not predicated on collecting PDUs. We need to look at coaching and mentoring and developing soft skills and putting people in environments where they can fail and learn without feeling that they've caused any damage or caused any damage to the organisation. So number one, broader education. Number two, better ways of learning. And number three is collaboration. And this is where organisations are going to have to start to change, because every organisation now has to employ change management. You can't stand still. No industry is immune to the forces of change. The organisations that understand change and create an environment where the business can collaborate with those responsible for delivering change is going to be fundamental to those that succeed. We often speak a different language. Business as usual, they want speed to market and they want it quickly. In project management, well, we need the details and we need to do it slowly. Collaborating, sharing our experiences and working in the middle means that we can do these things better. I've written a book, it's called It's the People, and it's lessons in leadership and stakeholder management. I believe the future of project management is all about people and stakeholder management and leadership, and that's not to say that methodology isn't important, but the increasing challenges that we face going forwards are going to be more about people. Thank you for your time.